Page 88, A Tender Moment. Let's look it over. It's 2 pages long. It starts out with treble and treble clef. You get bass clef in the second line, measure 5, the bottom line goes okay, but it starts treble and treble clef. 1 flat in the key signature, so it's either an F major or D minor. If you look at the end, we're here, ending on a D minor chord. So I'm guessing it's in D minor. It could go in F major in part of the piece, but basically it's in D minor. However, do the scales and arpeggios for both F major and D minor. And whether you go 1 or 2 octaves, again, depends on how well you can do the scale or arpeggio. Don't push it. It's just a little bit each day is fine. And 4/4 time signature, right hand first. We're up here because we're moving around. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. The same note. That's fine. Repeated note. 1. And measure 4. That is the C natural now, because that sharp sign before is only good for that measure. And then reach down his thumb over, or second finger over, I guess. Somebody's over somebody. I don't know. Here. 1 and 2 and 4. Again, repeated notes. I'm simply changing. This way I can change it, or I can connect it. I don't know what I'm changing. I'm connected. And then 1, 3, 1, 2. I want to connect the top note. The bottom note, that's harmony. It's not as important to connect. I don't want to connect the top. I want to feel that melody. At the bottom of page 89, the last 2 measures, that F is tied for the rest of the piece. You hold it down, just add the D to it. And then that's tied for the last one. Now left hand adds notes. Speaking of left hand, we're up here. 1, 2, 3, it's an octave. 2, you can stay there because we're going to need the note again. 2, 3. Now we're in bass clef. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1. Yeah, okay. And measure 9, you get treble clef again. You got to come up here. So it's your measure 8, you're here, you just lift up and move. Not a lot of help for you, but there is. I'm not going to go there just right now. Just lift up and move. 2. Okay. At the bottom of page 89, measure 30, your 4th finger, and then you just lift up and come down. 1. It's just a D minor scale. 2, 3, and then come down. Yeah. Let's put the hands together and see what mess we've got here. It's a 1 and 2. Going from measure 4 to 5. Both hands are moving. The left hand's coming here. The right hand's coming here. At the same time, it'd really be nice to be able to figure out something to help us out a little bit, because that is a nasty move. The pedal would help, but I'm not relying on pedal. I want to do it with the hands. So if I can do anything to help either hand, well, I can't do much to help the right hand. It's got to move. Okay, fine. You have a half a beat rest to get the right hand down. So get the left hand where it goes, focus on that, and then that. Again, you're moving one hand at a time, and that helps. So measure 4, you're here. Move that. Just, you might have to practice that, because it's better than moving both hands at once. And then measure 9, both hands are going to move, but again, the left hand moves first. So get that up, and then that. That's one at a time. You might have to practice that. Yeah. Anyway, put the hands together, and then I'll go back over just a few measures at a time, the hard parts, and get rid of the hesitations. No hesitations. And don't keep practicing at all. And once you can play like the first line okay, put it aside. Don't keep playing the first line. So focus on the stuff that you're hesitating. And after you get it all worked out, then you can go back and put it all together. Anyway, after the hesitation, I do the articulation. And this is fairly connected. Where in the left hand, they have this slur. You can do that if you want. You have to experiment. You could also just connect it. Here. Anyway, we put in the slurring. If you want to lift up between the slurs, experiment. Okay, because you don't have to lift up before and after a slur. The phrasing, if you can figure out where the sentences are, you can lift up for that. And I think for the most part, that's the right hand. Although you can have phrases in the left hand too. It's interpretation. Different people will interpret it differently. You do it as your teacher tells you to do it, but I think you can experiment with it. It's like a measure 17. Lift up, lift up. See? So I'm lifting up. And the left hand sort of got its own thing going. Experiment. Then the dynamics. Apply to the melody if you can figure out where the melody is. I think it's in the right hand. You're going to start out very soft, both hands. Da, da, da. Come up to about a soft here. Don't get loud here at ba, ba. Now, in the second measure, go ahead and start as soft and go up to moderately soft. So we're going to gradually build up here. Then come down to measure 4. Back down to, I think, very soft again. Up to sort of soft. And then come down. And we're back to sort of soft, or very soft. Like you were at the beginning. So put in the dynamics. I don't think this piece ever gets really loud. It's just tender, and I don't think that's too loud. Then the speed. Delicately, oh great, just in the middle somewhere, not too fast, but just a gentle flow. The eighth notes will want to slow it down a little, and then the quarter notes and the half notes want to speed it up. You got to find somewhere that works for both. And then pedal. Well, that's interesting. They're not pedaling all of it. They're pedaling most of it. It's overlapping pedal. And so we'll try that out first and see what it sounds like. If I don't like it, I'm going to change it. Because in my opinion, these pedal markings in these books are all suggestions. They're just what somebody says, interpret it this way. Well, I may want to interpret it a different way. We'll see. So at the beginning, the notes first and then the pedal. Change it after you play the note. Let's go down the next line. Measure 13 here. Now maybe that's the style the composer wanted. He wanted this all smeared. Maybe he wanted all that smear. Maybe it's an effect. We use pedal sometimes to intentionally smear it up, give it a foggy feel or a mysterious feel or just a dreamy feel. And if that's the effect he wants, then that's what we do. We just do it this way. I don't really know what effect he wanted. I don't know if he wants that or if he's just trying to keep the pedaling simple for you. Because it would be a simple enough thing to change the pedal every 2 beats instead of every measure. At the beginning, change, 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 change. And that clears it up a lot. So I don't know the effect the composer wanted. I'd have to ask him. I'm too lazy to do that. So we just pedal it the way they're showing. But if I were going to perform this, I would probably end up changing this pedal every 2 beats instead of every measure, because I like a clean melody. Now, on some of it, you're not pedaling. Like in measure 17, you don't pedal this. We want to hear the phrasing, I guess. Right? We want to hear that, I guess. So that's what they do. That's what they do. let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I will do the pedaling as it's shown so you can see it. I'll give us 4 counts. And we're going to go really slow though. We're not performing it. I'm not doing louds and softs. We're just checking notes and rhythms. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1. 2 and 3. One, two, three, 4.